The Tesla Model Y versus the Tesla Model X, the 7-seater review. Now there are many aspects to consider before buying, but don't worry because I'll be going over all of them like storage, comfort, practicality, but most importantly, the cost. So be sure to watch to the end to avoid picking the wrong Tesla.
This Model Y long range has a little secret that it's packing in the back. It comes with 7 seats, and there it is, the 7-seater, which shouldn't really be called a seat because this is made for very, very tiny people, aka your babies and kids. But would you want to have your kid back here? Your kid won't really have much leg room. Your leg will extend just about here, but if you're thinking about slapping some adults in there, hey man, Jeff, go take the back seat, the 7-seater seat. It's not gonna happen. They'll be like, what the hell is this? So with the 7-seater, we have adjustable headrests. And look how tiny these headrests are. These are baby headrests, and they're manual, so you have the option to raise it if you have a tall kid, or you can lower it by pressing this down, just like any other standard seat. But the question is, can a fully grown adult, I'm 5'9", let's see if I can actually fit there. Is there enough room? Let's see. The first question you may be thinking, how the hell do you get back there without climbing in the rear seats? But I think I found exactly how to do that. So you see these buttons over here? These are something you just toggle down, and once that flops down, I believe you use that opportunity to climb in. Maybe I'm missing something because would they have to climb over this? That's crazy. Okay, let me try here. Oh my goodness. Whoa, there's no shot. There's just no way. So if you're sitting like this and you have a very nice, if you want to lay your legs back here, sure, you can do that. You can be on your phone and have the 2 7-seaters to yourself, but let's lower this seat down. My wife can help me lower this seat down. If you can just press that button. Beautiful. Let's see, lower down. Thank you, wife. So now I can sit like this, but of course, no one will actually sit like this because then that's not even a proper usage of the 7-seater. But I want to show you something. It comes with cups, so your toddler or your very, very tiny friend can put their little drink that may definitely spill because the depth in these cups is not that low. You do have that here, and they have the audacity to say, hey, this is a perk of the 7-seater, cup holders. Turns out, guys, I'm pretty stupid. Because there's actually a much easier way to get in the back 7 seats. So you actually take your rear seats, you lift them up, and this button over here is something you just pull, and you can hold it down, and apparently it moves forward. And there, oh, we're seeing action. There we go. So as you're holding this down, you have the ability to pull this, and look at that. That's much easier to get in than what I was previously attempting. An absolute fail. But this is a good opportunity if you want to throw your babies back there, although I don't know if I'd feel very comfortable to have my baby all the way back here, and I'm over here driving. It's like, hey man, how's your baby doing back there? I have to check way in the rear mirror. So I don't know if I feel safe.
Speaking of safety, the Tesla Model Y was picked once again as one of the safest cars in the world according to IIHS. But after I researched a number of crash testing videos, I noticed I didn't see any for the Model Y getting rear-ended. Now, of course, all cars have crumple zones for safety. So when I researched pictures of Model Ys in accidents where they have been collided with in the rear, it actually looked pretty damn scary, to the point where my safety concerns were confirmed. These pictures immediately get me nervous as a buyer for anyone that would sit in the 7-seater. However, this of course doesn't apply to the 5-seater based on the footage we have seen.
Now I have the ability to get in a lot easier. Okay, now there's one more thing I stumbled upon when I actually moved this up. There's 2 USB-C ports over here. The reason why they're absolutely useless is because when this seat is actually in its regular position, the USB-C ports were completely blocked. So I don't know if your baby needs to charge his phone unless you're giving him an iPad. I mean, we are raising iPad kids over here. So I'm gonna see if my legs can stay like this while this passenger can be comfortable. So let me pull this. Oh, somehow I fit. You can see there is quite a bit of space in front, and this would be an uncomfortable ride, but you know what? I kind of can sit back here. I think I was, once again, discover something new because you can adjust position of this to the point where your legs can sit down. It doesn't have to be flushed all the way back.
Really stupid.
So one more test I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my wife to close this rear trunk to see how much headroom I'm going to have, because at the end of the day, you want to see if you can throw your friend Jeff back there.
My name is Jeff.
All right, moment of truth. I'm gonna watch my head. I don't know if it'll slam on me, but here we go. Oh. And here we go, the rear trunk. The rear trunk is closed, but man, my head is literally resting on the rear glass. And good luck to the driver to be able to see out of the rear glass when you see a Dumbo sitting in the 7-seater. So now, if you are in this position, you do have access to the USB-C ports. So they are over here. So if you have an iPad kid, they can be charging away on their long road trip. As a person sitting here, if you do want to get out, all you have to do is push this tab down, push this forward, it'll spring up, and now you have this gap to leave the car. So I'm gonna exit. You're gonna see this very lame attempt at exiting because it's very crammed back here. Oof. That was a tight squeeze. If you have a tight back, do not sit back there. This is not for a fully grown adult. So now the big question you might have is, hey, how is my storage impacted? Well, let's take a look. So now, if you don't know, you can actually lower these seats to get yourself the similar space as you do with the long range. So let's take a look.
Now, before we take a look, I forgot to mention that the 7-seaters do come with armrests, but there are no vents or lights, so you can continue to make your passengers suffer. Now, in a previous Model Y review, I have mentioned about the time I was able to load 4 to 5 suitcases with the 5-seat configuration. Now, from the exterior, your dimensions remain the same, no matter the 5 or 7-seater, but from the interior, however, if your 7 seats are not folded because you have 2 kids back there, you will have 17 cubic feet worth of space versus having 34.3 cubic feet of space with the 5-seater, which means a pricier workaround would be to invest in a roof rack, but I should mention it does create drag, decreasing your overall range efficiency over time, especially with cargo on top, which means more stops at supercharging stations during road trips. Also, if you have a Model Y or plan to buy a Model Y, use my Tesla referral link for perks, as well as check out the must-have Tesla accessories that make your life a whole lot easier. Both can be found in my description.
So you push this tab down and it shoots back down. Boom, boom. So now if I were to fix this, there you go. Make sure headrests are locked in to get this full space. Now, in first glance, it looks very similar to the long-range 5-seater configuration, the amount of storage you get, because it is a lot of space and you can always lower those seats. But let's take to see underneath if there's the same amount of storage. So over here, we still have this big rear bin where you can throw a bunch of things back there. You can even throw a body, but don't throw a body back there. You already have the 7-seater to do that. Then we have these big side pockets that you can use as well. So that's still there. Lower that. Boom, boom. That's quite a bit of storage. I'm going to show you a shot of configuration of what the 5-seater storage looks like. And now this is a 5-seater configuration, so I'm going to lower these seats to see if it's very similar. So let me lower this. Boom, boom. And honestly, in first glance, it does look similar, but here's one missing storage that you're missing out on if you get the 7-seater. Once I lift this and I lift this cute little spot you're missing out on if you want to store additional stuff. Of course, it's very, very small and negligible. I personally have never used it, but you will forego that if you get the 7-seater.
Now, when it comes to the price of the Model Y 7-seater, you have to keep a few things in mind. For example, if you select the Stealth Gray free paint option, you will have to pay $2,000 extra for the 7-seater. But if you were to switch that into a black and white interior, that price drops down to $1,000. But the caveat doesn't end there. Now, if you go back and select any of the paid paint options like the Pearl White Multi-Coat or the Deep Blue Metallic, all these have an additional cost, but Tesla saves you on the cost of the 7-seater in this scenario as well. So no matter if you pick the black interior or the white interior, the 7-seater still cost $1,000.
Only available in the long-range variant. The performance and the rear-wheel drive don't even give you the option to configure it as a 7-seater. You have the option to only get the 5-seater for those two variants. Now let's check to see how much space there is in the trunk by clicking this fob twice, and it opens up. I'm hoping it's more than the Y. Now the Model X comes with 3 types of seat configurations, 5, 6, and 7. The 6 costs the most, 5 is included, and 7's actually cheaper, and this is the 7-seater option. In order to truly test the storage, all you have to do is press this button over here. Same thing here. Headrest swings down very dramatically, and then you just simply push it down. And now we're starting to see the cargo space you dream of when you have a car this big. Once I open this section over here, you'll notice that the boot dips quite nicely, and there's a ton of storage here. And then on this side, now I'm not sure if this is included or if this is an aftermarket accessory. Let me know in the comments what's the case, but it does go pretty deep down here, and I can fit all the way down to my elbow, so it's very good for securing some things down there. On this side, you have this cool mesh net to prevent anything from moving around here. For example, a tray of eggs. That's a very small tray of eggs, and you have a little spotlight built in as well if you want to keep an extra good eye on your egg. Get into the 7-seater and you want to raise them up. You can't do it from here, so you do have to go all the way around, and the button's off the side if you can actually find it. Once you do, release happens. Boom. Press this button over here. The top half tilts down, and when you keep pressing it, it does shift and move up. I just sat in a Model Y 7-seater, and it was pretty uncomfortable and suffocating, but let's see how this is. Okay, so far so good. And let me just raise this seat for my buddy over here that I can sit along with. And for one thing, the seats are a lot more comfortable. Once I'm sitting in nicely, all I have to do is press this button here and let the person in front sit ahead. Now, this is pretty similar to the Model Y 7-seater, but the seats are 10 times more comfortable. So if I am sitting in the long haul, this wouldn't be as bad. It is a bit cramped. It is better for kids, but it's certainly more comfortable than the Model Y 7-seater. But to truly accurately test this, I'll have to lower the trunk to see how much headroom space I have. So if my wife can help me and click that button, wish me luck. Look at the headroom space I have. My head is not resting against the rear glass, and the seats are 10 times comfortable as previously mentioned.
Now, I still have a rear safety concern for passengers sitting in the 7-seater of the Model X, but I just want to say this is a general concern I have with any automaker making 7-seater vehicles. Teslas in general are the safest cars on the road. Now back to the original question, which Tesla is right for you? Now, the obvious elephant in the room is the major price difference between the two. The Model Y is the easy decision with a starting price of $47,990 USD for the long range, which as previously mentioned is the only variant that has a 7-seater option. Then to add the 7-seater, it's $1,000 to $2,000 depending on the options you choose. While the Model X long range starts at $79,990 with a $3,500 added cost for the 7-seater. Now, if you're rich and simply just looking for the better option, the Model X has enough headroom for adults and slightly more leg room. The seats themselves are a lot more comfortable, and guess what? You actually get vents, 2 USB ports, but no armrests for some reason. But if you're looking for an overall comparison between the two Teslas, watch this video.